There were articles that were popping up about Concerned Ape and, the developer of Stardew Valley. And I just found myself going down this rabbit hole of trying to learn about how one person, created this game and this world that all of us have had the pleasure of experiencing. And I'm currently having the pleasure of experiencing for the first time. And I think it's a really magical thing that you can have that level of impact. I think it's something that I think all of us want to do at some point, is to have some amount of impact in the world or in the lives of people, at least one person in our life, and I love that this game has been able to do that. And I don't know if, when Concerned Ape was making this game, if he ever knew or even contemplated that this game would have such an impact and create such a space for so many people. And I don't know, I think if he had thought that, it might have been debilitating in a way, because it's just so much pressure. But it goes to show the beauty of impact and the idea that you never know how much impact you could have. I want to check out this, and then we'll check out the first 2 trailers for the game, because I never seen them. So
Auburn native Eric Baroni didn't really anticipate becoming a video game developer, but once he graduated from UW to
those keys are clacking.
He wasn't having much luck finding jobs.
So I decided to start making a game, a slightly bigger game, to just basically get better at programming and to have something to put on my resume. I kept telling everyone, oh, it'll be done in maybe about 6 more months, right?
4.5 years later, that game turned into something a little bigger than a resume builder.
It kind of like organically kept growing and growing and growing into this big game that in 2016 I finally was able to release as Stardew Valley.
Oh, it was 2016.
The entire game by himself.
That means all the music, all the art, all the programming, all the writing, all the game design.
For a video game, that's incredible.
I remember saying, I would be happy if the game sold 10,000 copies.
10,000?
10,000? Y'all, 10,000? How many copies has this game sold up to this point? Does anyone know off the top? 10,000 copies is kind of wild. I think it's now around 42 million. 42 million. I swear he's in the same jacket in all of his interviews. He probably doesn't leave that desk. I mean, his emotional support jacket, listen, we've all got one. We've all got one. I got one too. And to imagine going into it and saying, hey, I would just be happy if this game sold 10,000 copies. You know what I mean? If this game sold 10,000, I would be elated, over the moon. Imagine waking up one day and seeing that your game sold 100,000, 1 million copies. And to be where it is today at 41 million, I mean, and to think that you just came into this just wanting to put something on your resume. I don't know. I love stories like this, guys, because it really goes to show you just never know, you never know what's around the corner. You never know what you're walking into, what you potentially could be stumbling upon. And I think it just goes to show that the importance of just being fearless and just being willing to try everything and do everything, because you never know. You really never know. It's just such a beautiful thing. There's a serendipity in it, when you think about it, that you could be walking into a moment that changes your life forever and you have no idea. And I think it's pretty cool. It's probably his lucky jacket. Listen, I would never take that jacket off if that was me. That's all I'm saying.
Copies, try 10 million. And by the time you watch this story, Stardew Valley has probably sold even more.
Wait, what does that say? Stardew Valley has sold over 10 million copies. It's strange and amazing to think back to when I was making this game in my bedroom with no clue if anyone would like it, only 4 years ago. To everyone who has played this game, supported it, and made it all possible, thank you. That's crazy. 4 years. It only took 4 years for this little indie game to sell to sell 10 million copies. That's impressive.
Even more. It turns out an escape to simplicity is just what people needed. Stardew Valley is all about tending to your virtual farm, raising adorable animals, and making friends with neighbors.
When you're playing it, I want every moment to be full of joy and wonder, and to bring back the kind of magic that you may have felt when you were a kid and you first played video games.
There's mountains.
That's so beautiful too, guys. I don't mean to stop it again. I feel like games don't have that same impact as much as they used to. I mean, we've always known, I think, no matter what games you're playing, that games, they had the development side, which was the creative side, and then they had the business side, which was the money side. And there's always been a clash between those two sides in an effort to try to get the machine working, you know, where the developers want to do creative things, but those creative things cost money, and you see it all the time in the game industry where, you know, studios are constantly butting heads with investors and people who put the money forward for that game to be possible. And you know, it's a real struggle, because a lot of games you see now are riddled with microtransactions. You know, all these games, you know, they have skins and they have all these things that could easily be in the game. They could be earnable, but instead they're withdrawn from the initial release of the game in an effort to, you know, make an extra dollar and to penny pinch. And you know, it's tough, because you know that games have to make money in order for studios to exist and for studios to continue to make more games. But it's an unfortunate state of the industry, and you know, very few and far between do games come around where it feels like there genuinely was nothing but love placed into it. You know, it's even something that you don't see a lot of now, where games come out as a complete version. I think that's why people loved Elden Ring so much, because Elden Ring, when that game came out, it was a finished game. You know, there was no big day one patch that needed to be updated, no, you know, skins that you needed. It was like, here's the game, it's done. But on a, you know, different scale, you see that with a lot of indie games where it's like, hey, we made a game that we love with characters and a world that we love, that we're passionate about. Here it is. And that's why I love indie games. It doesn't feel like indie games are really trying to get the extra dollar out of you. You know, it feels like that's where the last remnants of creativity exist within the gaming industry. Oftentimes, you know, it doesn't feel like there's any hidden agendas or any, you know, manipulation happening. It's just, here's the game. We loved it. We enjoy it. You know, here it is. And I think that that's really cool. And so you look at a game like this, and it does, like, I find myself genuinely joyous when I play this game, and it's something that I don't get the feeling of, where it's a game that, like, you could play this game for hours. And there's a lot of games where I'll play now where I feel like, you know, I'll get through maybe an hour and then I'm just kind of like, you know, thinking about the next thing, or, you know, but this game really does pull you in, and there's so much to do that sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it also keeps your brain busy in a way. And I think that that's something that definitely deserves a little bit of, you know, I would say praise for.
Forests, oceans, a lush beauty in the game that may remind you of our very own region.
I've spent my whole life in the Pacific Northwest, so everything about Washington and the whole, like, you know, natural landscape around here is kind of like deeply ingrained into who I am.
You can't lose in Stardew Valley. Not really. There's no game over. It's an escape to something a little more gentle. And for many, Stardew Valley isn't just a game. It's a way to connect with faraway friends, a respite from anxiety or depression, a balm in the midst of chaos.
What really is, like, makes me feel good, makes me feel like my life has been, like, totally worthwhile is the fact that Stardew Valley has brought so much, like, joy and happiness to people, that my, you know, this little game has brought a lot of positivity to the world. It feels really good.
That's so cool. I love stories like that. I think that's, like I said, you never know. This warms my heart. It's something, you know, it's something cool. And on this Stardew Sunday, you know, it's all about coziness. It's all about good vibes. And, you know, I just wanted to share that story with you guys, because I felt like it's a beautiful tale of, again, you never know. You just never know what can happen. And I doubt that when Concerned Ape was even making this game that he knew it would be a big success. I don't think anyone really knows that sort of thing, you know, but, you know, you just do it, and, you know, it's like, wow, I can't believe, you know, I feel like it's so beautiful too, because what if you never did that? You know, I feel like oftentimes when big successes happen, you were probably right at the cusp of never doing that, you know, and I think it's pretty cool. So, yo, what's up, Goblin? Welcome in. Okay, now, guys, we are going to watch the first ever trailer for Stardew Valley. This trailer dropped 12 years ago, and was everyone's, it seemed, I believe it was the world's first ever look at Stardew Valley. And over a decade later, who would have thought that people would still be playing this game, that gamers like myself would be discovering this game for the first time? I mean, who would have thought that when this game was in development and this first trailer was dropping, that it would be the success and the cult classic that it has become? And so without further ado, we're going to check out this trailer, the old version. We'll check out the new version as well, and see and reminisce a little bit, you know? Create a farm from nothing. Dude, you could mass plant? Can you do that in the game now? Because if not, I'm gonna need them to bring that back. Oh, look at those pumpkins. Wow, potentially one of the earliest versions, you know, of this game. Oh, wow. Okay, I definitely need to bring bombs into the mines. Look at the earliest rendition of Haley. Okay, Sam more or less looks the same, but that's okay. Oh, man. The next Stardew hero. Holy moly, Stardew Valley. Which apparently also had a different name way back when. Before it became Stardew Valley, it was called something else. The name I can't remember right now, but holy moly. Can we just take a moment? Mass cropping. Can you imagine that was a thing? I haven't experienced winter yet, but I'm assuming there's probably going to be snow, right? So you got snow, you know, even some of the earliest concepts of this game. I mean, does this not fill you with at least a little bit of nostalgia, you know, in this moment, as many of you who probably have done, you know, half a dozen farms, spent thousands of hours in this game, and to look back and see what the game really was at potentially its rawest version, you know, it's got to fill some sort of nostalgia, or at least bring about a little bit of appreciation for the game that you get the opportunity to play each and every day, because it's so much, it looks so much different than what it did back when this first trailer dropped 12 years ago. And I guess it used to look a lot more like Harvest Moon. I love how even with how far the game has come, it's still so true to its beginning. Yeah, I mean, even looking at the fruit, you know, even looking at the crops, which obviously look a little bit different than you know, here than what they do in the game now, but you know, the general premise of the game, the concept of the game still exists. The mines, you know, seeing these little guys here, you know, the farming, the mining, all of that stuff still very much exists, you know, and it's cool to see, you know, it's really cool to see how far this game has come. Looking at OG Sam, you know, OG Sam, OG Haley, who ironically enough looks, I would say, the most different out of anybody. OG Haley looks very different than what we experience now, but still pretty cool. You know, it's still pretty cool to see. You know, I think it's really, I don't know, there's something beautiful about going back and looking at where it all began and where it all started, and you know, there's a beautiful nostalgia in that. Oh, Sprout Valley was one of the OG names. Sprout Valley, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sprout Valley, y'all. Would the game have been as successful if it was still called Sprout Valley? I feel like it would have, but there's something about Stardew Valley that I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know if it's because it's ingrained in our brains now that we can't imagine it any other way. But I often try to challenge myself to think of like a multiversal, you know, opposite land, an opposite world in which, you know, Sprout Valley existed and not Stardew. But, you know, I don't know. It sends me down a loophole, a rabbit hole of ideas. Oh, what's up, Mochi? Mochi, welcome in. So good to see you. Stardew is a much prettier word than Sprout. That's true. Yeah, I'm glad they went with Stardew. Star's always had a mystical vibe to it. It's what pushed Mario to its level. That's true. Anyway, now let's check out the new trailer. Wow, look how much it's changed, y'all. From that first older trailer to this, it's pretty darn impressive. Oh, look at the little cows. Oh, the goats. You know, it's like watching a video like this gives me so many ideas of what I want to do to our community farm. Oh, look at that. Look at all the crab pots. And the music just ties it all in so beautifully. Look at the town. Oh, little Abigail. What the heck is that? Wait, can we work out in this game? I don't even know if that's a thing. Oh no. Prairie King, who we have just demolished recently. Oh man. The community center, the pride and joy of Pelican Town. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Holy moly. Stardew Valley, coming February 26th. What a time. What a time. I've never seen the actual trailer. It was probably something we should have done before we even started playing this game. But I feel like we're still in the first year. I feel like it now felt like the perfect time to dive into this, and I wanted to hear your thoughts. Like, where were you when you first started this game? What point of your life were you in? What were you experiencing? Because I feel like this must have been such a special time. I know some of you probably have been here since day one, and you were there on that day, February 26, 2016. You experienced this, but what a cute trailer. Holy moly. I genuinely loved that. That was awesome. Prairie King stream was epic. Definitely one of the biggest accomplishments I think I've done all year. Oh man, and it's only March, the Prairie King stream, it was everything. And that's because of you guys. You guys really made it something special. I'll definitely remember that. We're definitely still working on the edit for that video, and so that will hopefully come out sometime this week. But I met my husband the year this game came out. I had just graduated high school the year prior. I had nothing to do but play Stardew. Oh, talk about perfect timing, I was at my old job when this game came out. I was watching my favorite Pokemon streamer play this only 3 years ago, and I was hooked ever since. Wow, I think I started playing around lockdown. I was today years old and watched the Stardew trailer. Isn't that something? You know what I mean? Isn't that something? We have just been allowed the opportunity to share in this experience together. And that's what this whole community is about. That's what, pretty much that's what all this is about. It's about sharing communal experiences and having that moment together. And we'll look back on this months from now and be like, hey, remember when we watched the first Stardew trailers together? What a time. You know what I mean? What a time. I just recently started playing Stardew Valley, but I'm so glad I found it later. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and haven't missed a day playing since. Stardew Valley, it has this beautiful knack of pulling you into its world, and no matter how many hours I play of it, while we're streaming, I want nothing more than to just go and sit on my couch and continue playing. I just want to continue exploring and continue learning and growing in this game. It's a beautiful thing. My first memory was the Sam sneaking you into his room after dark. I think it was an ad for mobile version. Wow. I vaguely remember picking this game up on PC around 2017. I decided to dive full in until 2023. It's crazy to think that a game that you could be playing a game that long, you know? There's very few games in my life that I can think of that I played as long as I played Stardew Valley, or as long as I played other games, basically there's not a lot of games I can think of that I played more than 10 years, I think that's pretty cool. I wonder if they'll do something special for its 10-year anniversary, that would be kind of cool. If anyone is interested, Concerned Abe has a little video on his channel playing the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies song on his grandpa's guitar. Oh wow, drop that in the Discord. Speaking of Discord, we have a clip section now. If you guys have a video that you would love for us to watch, whether it be a trailer or a clip or something fun, I would love to have days during the week, maybe on Fridays, where we go through those clips and we talk about them, and whether they're funny clips or memeable clips, or an article that you want us to check out, or a video that you want us to look at, a trailer even. Yeah, drop it in the clips channel of our Discord. Yo, what's up, Crone? Welcome in. Anyway, this was amazing, guys. I just wanted to share this with you. It just hit me this morning when I woke up. I was thinking about Stardew, no surprise, and I was like, I wonder what the first trailer would have looked like in that game. And so I appreciate you guys being willing to take in this adventure with me as we experience this incredible momentous thing. And to think, like I said, that this many years later, so many of you would still be playing, and not only playing, but still celebrating and still being excited about this game. It just goes to show that Concerned Abe had truly, made something special. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.